Another technology that I want to talk about today is called NewsELA. This is a resource that I use personally. I have not used the technology piece of it a lot, mainly because my students have not had access to good technology for me to fully embrace the technology side, but my students will be getting one-to-one iPads this year, so I'm excited to refresh myself on NewsELA, or NewsELA, as you'll hear it sometimes, so that I can really use this with my students on their one-to-one technology this year. So NewsELA, or NewsELA, if you type in newsela.com, this is the page that you will come up to. I picked NewsELA because this is a great resource for you to use for reading curriculum, but it's also excellent nonfiction texts. It's really hard to find good quality nonfiction texts for students to read, but what I love about NewsELA is that you get to adjust the Lexile level of the article that the students are reading. So your gifted students or your higher achieving students can read the same article that your lower level readers are reading, but the higher students are reading it with harder vocabulary, a greater Lexile level, where your really lower level readers may have the same information, but at like a second or third grade level while in 6th or 7th grade. So it's a fantastic resource to use to really differentiate your instruction while still teaching the same thing. So that's my favorite part about this. So as I mentioned, this is mainly for students, but it's an excellent resource for teachers too. I will use this resource a lot when I have a substitute because you can do the online things, but you can also print all of the articles and the questions that come with it. So let's look at this here. So if you type in newsela.com, this is the page that comes up for you. Your first time you have to join, but it is free. So when you hit join, you should get this page. So for you as a teacher or an educator, you would click that I'm an educator. You can also set this up for if you have your own children. You can do this at home as well. So I'm an educator, and then once you go from there, it's going to ask you to type in your school information, things like that, because you do have to kind of prove that you're an educator. A lot of times you have to have an email that may say like .usd383.org or something like that. And this is the same page where your students will go, but they'll click I'm a learner. Okay, so I already have an account, so I'll pull up my account here. So this is what the home page looks like. It kind of looks like CNN or something like that. It's a lot of current events, but it also has categories where you can read. So there's science, arts, kids, money. There's all kinds of things you can read. Government. So I'm just going to pick one. I will pick, let's go with money here. So once I open this, right up here is where you can pick your Lexile level. So you can have the max, so this would be the hardest level that you can get, and even the title, so if you recognize the title, and then you can scroll down. Oh, it says I'm not signed in. Hold on just a minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you get the whole article at a difficult reading level. Now, if I click up here, and let's just go 830 Lexile. So the title has changed just a little bit, and you'll notice that the vocabulary here is a little different as well as if I go even lower. It gets even easier vocabulary, and it's a little shorter read. Okay, so after you assign this, you can open activities over here. So I could open a write. So now my students have to write a short paragraph that explains the central idea of the article. So if you're talking about central idea, this would be an excellent one to pick. Okay. You can also give them a multiple choice quiz. The questions are made for you, which is fantastic for a quick assessment if you need it. And this one is already telling me the correct choice. I think I accidentally clicked on it. But it's really awesome. You can also print this. Okay, so when you print it, you can have the option to print just the article and a quiz, or the article, the quiz, and the answers. So like I was saying earlier, this is usually the option I've done in the past because I didn't have excellent technology. This year I'm going to fully embrace it and create a class. So let me show you where we can create a class. So if I click here, and there is a pro version here, you can see that my trial has expired, because there is a pro version that you can pay for, but I've had no issues with the free version. It gives me just about as much as what I would need, because I don't use it every day. Okay, I can go to classes. And so this is where I can create my own class. So each one of my students can have their own account. If you click Add Students, you can put in this code, and at the very beginning where it says I'm a learner, the students will click on that and they can put in this code, and they will be added to your class. Once you have students in your class, you can then assign a text for them. Let's see if it'll show me how to assign it. And so like this one, I'm glad I clicked on this. This one can be in Spanish as well, which is really cool if you have a lot of English language learners in your classroom as well. But one of these, there is a way that you can assign this. Oh, assign to. Sorry, it's over here on the left-hand side, and then I could assign it to my students that are in. So if you have more than one particular class, if you teach high school or junior high or levelized instruction, you could assign it to multiple classes, all the classes, or just one student, something like that. Again, this is a fantastic ELA resource that I use quite often. It's wonderful because it has good nonfiction text, but it's also some current events, and it's easily, you can use it easily across cross-curricular instruction. So science and reading, social studies and reading, government and reading. It's a really good resource to pull in some of those subjects that we don't exactly have time for into our reading instruction. So I hope that you enjoy it and get a chance to play with it. Thanks. Bye.